Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. If you follow basketball, you know Chilltown Hoops.
So this is really good right here. See me? Y'all know what I do around here. It's Chilltown Hoops. Welcome to the Chilltown Hoops Network. If you're new here, welcome back. If you are back. So I was thinking to myself this season, I mean, because here's the thing. I've heard a lot of different, narratives about this season, how old heads have really no respect for this generation, and not only that, but how the game has passed old heads by, things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, have I seen in my lifetime a better NBA season than this season? Like for what I'm seeing right now, with all the storylines, not just with all the storylines, with the play that these guys are displaying right now. Have I seen a better NBA season? When I think back to great NBA seasons, I'm thinking to myself, 2016 was incredible. We saw the storyline of Steph Curry at winning unanimous league MVP. In the process of him winning unanimous league MVP, we had a guy in Kawhi Leonard. His team wins 67 games. He doesn't get any league MVP votes. That's how awesome the season was that season. He doesn't get any league MVP votes. San Antonio wins 67 games that year, and it goes right over everybody's head. The Golden State Warriors end up in the NBA Finals, right? In the NBA Finals with the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they come back from a 3-1 lead, when the Golden State Warriors literally did that the series before. I'm thinking to myself, have I seen a better season than this year with what Joker is doing? Have I seen a closer MVP race? Doc and Bird in 81, Magic and Barkley in 90, Malone and Jordan in 97. Those are the ones that I'm thinking about, right? Those are the ones that I'm thinking about off the top of my head, right? And what up, Mario? How you doing, brother? Those are the ones that I'm thinking about off the top of my head. 1992, 1993 was a ridiculously awesome season. I mean, Jordan averaged 33 a game that year. He went 32-5, almost 33 a game that year. Barkley won the league MVP. But this season in particular, right? This season in particular, watching what I'm watching from what Joker is doing, who's having an all-time great offensive season. SGA, who, for all intents and purposes, we have to start talking about him differently if they end the season as champions. And even if they don't, and he goes deep into the playoffs, and they're not there yet, we still got to start talking about him differently than we do. We have to start respecting exactly what SGA has been over these last 3 years. And at 26 years old, this is what it looks like, right? So with him, also the potential of the Boston Celtics repeating and winning close to 60 games, if not 60 games this year. Again, Jason Tatum being first team All-Pro for the 4th straight year. I don't know if y'all know this, but Bill Russell didn't do that. Winning the NBA championship in back-to-back seasons. Bird didn't do that. There are a number of different storylines here. The Cavs are on pace to win 65-plus games this year. They've been nothing short of fantastic. They're on a collision course with the Boston Celtics. In the Eastern Conference Championship, which, by the way, if that ends up happening, I'm booking my flight and I'm heading. Whether it's Cleveland or it's Boston, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure which way I'm going, but if the Celtics and the Cavs end up in the East Finals, I'm there. No doubt about that. I'm absolutely there. My man SB asked me a question. He said, OG, what about them years when we had 50-win teams as 8th seeds? Yeah, that was in 16 when we had like Dallas at the bottom of the Western Conference, right? And we had the Warriors, barely making the playoffs in like 14 in like I think it was 14. They barely made the playoffs, and they was the 8th seed or the 7th seed, something like that. I think to myself, right? I think to myself, when I watch this season in particular, I don't want to discount even though I've seen some awesome basketball in the past, I don't want to discount what I've seen this season. I don't want to discount what I've seen this season from Joker. I mean, I got a guy averaging one of the most, if not one of the, but the most efficient triple-double that the NBA has ever seen. Now, the problem is the triple-double logic, because Russ did it 4 times in 5 years. Russ averaged a triple-double. So the fact that Russ did it, the goalpost being moved, well, it wasn't this efficient. Listen, man, I don't think you understand how difficult it is to average double digits, points, rebounds, and assists. How active you have to be in the game to do that. How involved you have to be in the game in order for that to happen. Russ did that 4 times. 4. And there's a reason why we haven't seen it very much. There's a reason why this is not going on as much as it's just not a reason why that's been going on as much. It's not. But with all that being said, SGA's got, I mean, for what Joker did yesterday to go 60, 10, and 10. There's only 2 other guys in NBA history to go 60, 10, and 10. That's James Harden and Luka. Right? That's James Harden and Luka to go 60, 10, and 10. It's pretty impressive, which I also think that, we kind of disregard, players from the past as quote unquote plumbers, right? We kind of disregard players from the past because, just so you know, in 1964, Chamberlain was 1 free throw and 1 assist away from going 60, 10, and 10. And later on that same season, he was 5 points and 4 assists away from going 60, 10, and 10. So, I mean, I feel like it's one thing to play at that level, but to do something like that is pretty remarkable. It just is. Now, I accept the fact that I accept the fact that there's a difference between doing it and playing at that level. I can definitely I accept that fact, but I also will not disregard guys who are playing at that level. No, I will not. Tim Duncan never won Defensive Player of the Year, but he finished in the top 10, I think 7 times in 10 years. I will not disregard, not 7 times in 10 years. In the top 5, I think he finished in the top 5 times in 7 years. I think he finished in the top 10 7 times in the top 10, but 5 times in 7 years he finished in the top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm not going to disregard guys playing at that level. I will not do that. I can't do that. So the idea that, where we live in today's game, right? The idea that where we live in today's game is watered down, defenses aren't very good. That goes over my head, man. It does, because we live in a space where the game needed to be advanced, right? You will complain about the game being slow and being rough and being rugged. And when it was that, we're done with the 90s, which when they were playing defense, when you can put your hands on people and you can be more physical, even though with what's going on in today's game, these guys are very physical. I see guys hand checking Luka. I see guys putting their hands on Luka. I see James getting beat up going to the basket. These guys are extremely physical, very much so. Evan Mobley is a physical big. 100% he is. Right? He's one of the most physical bigs in the game. Of the guys that are in the game today, right? Of the guys that are in the game today, he's one of the most physical bigs. Right? So with that being said, the idea that defenses aren't as good as they are, I mean, I have a difficult time with that because I feel like you have to be a lot more. I feel like you got to be a lot more focused. You got to be smarter in today's game, but that doesn't negate what guys like Scottie Pippen and Olajuwon and Gary Payton and David Robinson and Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan and Alvin Robinson. That doesn't negate what Joe Dumars had to do as a defender, right? That kind of stuff, right? That kind of stuff doesn't go by the wayside for me, because in a physical game, I still have to find myself mentally tough, more focused, because I'm getting pushed around. There are more things that are going to be let go than not. Just there are more. And sure, in today's game, I'm not able to put my hands on guys as much. So I got to be smarter on how I defend guys. And there's a lot more space to cover. So I got to be mindful of that. And I got to be mindful of how I cover space, how I communicate. All right, I can definitely get with that. Right? I can definitely get with that. So with that being said, right? With all of that being said, I feel like with the defense that I see today, I'm not going to negate what SGA is doing. I'm not going to negate what Joker is doing. For me watching the Minnesota Timberwolves, I can tell you right now, Rudy is trying hard as hell to stop Joker. It's not like he ain't trying. He's trying hard as hell to stop Joker. It's not like he's just letting Joker score. It's not like Anthony Davis was just letting Joker score. That's not what's going on, right? That is not what's going on. So because of that, I think that's a testament to how good Joker is as an offensive player and as a scorer. I think that's a testament to who he is. Because if I got a guy like Rudy Gobert, who's one of the better defenders in the game, one of the better help defenders in the game, one of the better rebounders in the game, one of the better shot blockers in the game, one of the better defensive players in the game, right? If I got a guy like that in the game and he's getting destroyed, what does that say? And it's not like he's not trying. You know, Rudy is closing out. Rudy is getting a hand in Joker's face. Rudy is trying to protect the rim. It's just not working. It's just not working at all. And because it's not working, it makes Rudy look inferior, when in reality, this guy's a damn good defender. I just think Joker is that good. I just think Joker is that good. And when I see other players, Joker have their way with other great defenders, it just validates how good Rudy Gobert really is as a defender. It does. So, you know, with that being said, I feel like this era of defense, I won't throw it by the wayside. I just feel like the game is much better. According to the suits, the game is much better when the scoreboards are lit up. So there's things that you're not able to do. But within that, these defenders are still, right? These defenders are still able to enhance the game. And I love that. I do. I 100% love that. And I just wanted to keep going. Pimp named Slipback hit me with a super chat. He said, "Chill, I heard my Nets are interested in making a trade for Giannis. This might be it for me, man. If we do this, I'm out." Why do we keep skipping steps? That's a good ass question. Not only that, why would Giannis want to be in Brooklyn? They're starting over in Brooklyn. I might as well stay where I am in Milwaukee. Why the hell I want to go to Brooklyn and start over? And on top of that, they could very well end up with the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick, and they're trying to build something with Cam and Claxton. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Giannis, as good as he is, I do think that he makes them a better team just off the strength of him being there. But I think Giannis is a win now kind of player. He's in his prime. Giannis is in his prime right now. And the last thing that you want to do with a guy that's in his prime is send him to a team that's at the bottom of the East. I don't want to do that. No. I do not want to do that with him. That's unfair to him. That's totally unfair to him. No. And I do understand that this is a business, but I can't see Milwaukee doing him that way. I could see Phoenix doing KD that way, though, because they don't owe him anything. They don't. I could see Phoenix. I don't want to see it, though. I don't want to see Phoenix ship KD off to Charlotte or Washington. I don't want to see that. No. But I could see them doing that, though. Yeah, I could. Anyway, I feel like I don't want to. It is on right now, Bob. Yeah, it's on right now. What I don't want to do is I don't want to discount what this season has become. That doesn't mean that I haven't seen great seasons in the past. That doesn't mean that, because I've seen a lot of great seasons, 2016, 2013, 2009, 2006, 2000, 1992, 1994, 1992, 1993, 1994, 1986, 1987, 1988, and 1989. Olajuwon finished second in Defensive Player of the Year that year in 89 and didn't make the All-League Defensive Team. Did not make the All-League Defensive Team. He finished second in Defensive Player of the Year and did not make the All-League Defensive Team. So I've seen great seasons, and I'm thinking to myself, where does this season rank amongst all-time great seasons? Where is this season in conjunction with the 2016 season? Did we have this much motion between two players? Well, we did, even though James wasn't there in terms of MVP votes. Nah, he wasn't there, but there was this talk between James and Curry, who's the best player in the league. James shut that down in the NBA championship. That was over. With that being said, in 2013, the fact that the Miami Heat had won 66 games that year, we saw something unprecedented. They had won 28 straight. The Lakers in 72, which was the only team. That was 40 years ago. Right? That was 41 years ago that happened. The Lakers had done that. That had that kind of win streak. So with that, there was some history there. On top of that, the Miami Heat were in a space to repeat. So, the 2013 season was phenomenal. The 2009 season with the Lakers going back to the NBA championship after losing to the Celtics and Bryant winning one without Shaq. LeBron James winning the league MVP that year after leading his team in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. That had never happened in NBA history, ever. Nobody ever did that before. James did it. The season that Dwayne Wade had. So when I think about what's going on this season, how does that compare to the 92 Bulls that won 67 games and were on the verge of getting knocked out of the playoffs in 92 in Game 7? The Knicks come to town, and the Knicks have every intention in putting the Bulls out. Every intention of putting the Bulls out. And Jordan goes 42-7 in Game 7, and Scottie Pippen has a triple-double. So Jordan wins league MVP in back-to-back years. That season was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. The Bulls come back from being down 15 in the NBA Finals in an elimination game for the Blazers, and they end up winning it. So I think about great seasons and all-time great seasons. I have to put this. I have to put this 2024-25 season up there with some of the best seasons that I've ever seen in my life. Because I can promise you, I'm not sure when I'm going to see this. I think I'm going to see it again. I just don't know when I'm going to see it again. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure when I'm going to see this again, because this is nothing short of fantastic. This kid in Oklahoma City, SGA, right? This kid in Oklahoma City, SGA, is fantastic. He is, and I'm on record saying it. And as soon as you guys hear me say that player A reminds me of blank, I automatically get, he's much better than him. Well, I didn't say that he was him. What I'm saying is, when I watch this guy, he reminds me a lot of this guy. There's a lot of things going. There's a lot of things going on with him when I watch him that remind me of this guy here. So when I watch SGA, I see a lot of Steve Smith. That's who he reminds me of. Except better. Except a lot better. Better scorer. Better at getting to spots. So, like this dude right here, Reed Holmes, who says this kind of logic right here. Free throw merchant though, Unc. Tell me what great scorers in the game didn't get to the stripe. How many? How many great scorers in the game didn't get to the stripe? I know Curry is one of those guys who didn't get to the stripe. How many other great scorers didn't get to the stripe? How many? When you're talking about great scorers getting to the free throw line, how many of them did not get to the stripe? Because I can tell you, the majority of great scorers got to the free throw line. That's part of being a great scorer. That's part of being a great scorer. That's just part of it. And this kid SGA, he knows exactly where to play, how to play. He knows what spots to get to. He knows when to get there. And I love that about him. The Clipper game is the first game that I've seen from him since he's been on this level. It's the first game that I've seen from him where he's gotten sped up. Where he has gotten sped up. I have not seen a guy in SGA not get sped. I have not seen a guy get sped up. I have not seen SGA get sped up like he got sped up in that game, right? I have not seen him get sped up like that against anybody. Because SGA has always been poised. Always been poised. Always been a guy who, for all intents and purposes, right? Always been a guy who you're not going to rough him up. You're not going to speed him up. You're not going to slow him down. You're not going to do any of those things. Reed, do you know that Kevin Durant, just so we're clear, Reed, Kevin Durant in 2010, that was the year he led the league in scoring. 2011, he also led the league in scoring. 2012, he led the league in scoring. In 2014, led the league in scoring. In those years, he went to the stripe. He averaged 10 free throws, 8.7, 7.6, and 9.9 in those 4 years. That's about 9 free throws a game on average that he's getting. He's 2 of those 4 seasons, he averaged double-digit free throws. 2 of them. So KD gets to the stripe. 100% KD gets to the stripe. And I'm confident that Brunson gets to the stripe. Brunson does not shoot a little bit of free throws. Brunson 100% gets to the stripe. He's great at getting to the stripe, as a matter of fact. Especially for a guy his size, particularly for a guy his size. He 100% gets to the stripe. Definitely. These last 2 years, he's averaging 7 free throws a game. The last 2 years. That's getting to the stripe. 100% he does. So, I mean, he's not 12 free throws like Jordan, but 7 free throws. Bryant has a 5-year stretch where he averaged 9 free throws. I mean, that's one more trip to the free throw line. Great scorers get to the free throw line, but what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put Jalen Brunson in the category of great scorers like Luka. Not yet. I mean, I'm not doing that. I mean, Brunson hasn't been that level of scorer for that long. I don't want to put him in. I'm not putting Brunson in the same category with KD as a bucket getter. Hell no, I'm not doing that. No, I can't do that. I won't do that. That's very irresponsible of me to do that. To sit up here and say to you guys, Jalen Brunson is the same category as in terms of a great scorer as KD. No, I ain't doing that. No, I'm not doing that. No way. I can't do that. So, I cannot for the sake, not just the sake of argument, I cannot and I will not allow myself to let this season just go by the wayside because I'm stuck in the past. No, I won't. There's too much going on in this season for me. There's too much going on in this season for me to just throw it by the wayside. I think Trey's got, if I'm not mistaken, I gotta go back and look, but I'm pretty confident Trey's got multiple 2020 games this year. This season. I've seen Stockton do that, which means that has happened in 30 plus years. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal for a guy to have a 2020 game. Just one. Trey's got multiple 2020 games this year. That's pretty impressive, man. That is. Pretty impressive. And if I just let that go by the wayside, then I'm saying that Trey, like what you're doing is irrelevant. No, it's not. No, it's not. Giannis is averaging, right? Giannis is averaging. Atlas, would you shut up? Just shut up, man. God damn, I can't stand guys like this, man. Worry about the Blazers. I guess Clyde Drexler's numbers were inflated too. So was Damian Lillard. Shut up, man. Damn, I'm trying to host the show here. Shut the hell up. And I actually dig the Blazers. I watch Blazers games, but what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to listen to goofy shit. Like people just want to get involved and say dumb shit. I'm not going to do that. I won't do that. So anyway, I won't just throw what I won't just throw what Trey did by the wayside. I can't do that. And I won't. Off the strength of what we have right now. What we have right now, I won't. So, and just so you know, Chef, whatever your name is, if Stockton's stats are inflated, so was Chamberlain, and so was Dame Lillard, and so was Clyde Drexler, and so was everybody's stats. Everybody's stats are inflated. And you can't give me the logic that, well, no, it ain't because we seen it. Well, we saw it back then too. It wasn't like no games weren't on TV. We saw it. So all of this stuff, we seen guys get assists when guys dribble the ball twice to the rim and they get awarded assists for that. That's not an assist. So if you're going to say that about Stockton, if you're going to say that about any of these guys, you got to say that about you have to say that about these guys today. You have to say that about these guys today. You 100% have to say that about these guys today. No doubt about it. Because again, if I see guys, right, if I see a guy who, like I seen Lonzo Ball when he played for the Lakers in particular. I seen Lonzo Ball get the ball to Brandon Ingram, who took 2 dribbles, got to the rim, and got a bucket. That was marked as an assist. That's not an assist, which is an inflated stat. That's been going on throughout the course of this year too, where guys get awarded assists when you're dribbling twice and 3 times. So I'm not trying to hear that, man. I'm not. I'm not trying to hear that. So this season, what I'm gonna do this season All right. What I plan on doing this season is I plan on continuing to praise what I've seen. I can't just let what I've seen just go by the wayside. I can't just let what I've seen just get compared to other seasons and be like, yeah, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. I will not do that because these guys this season have been so good, right? These guys this season, they've been so good and so productive that to say, yeah, but I can't. I can't just throw this by the wayside. And I won't. I will not. So I do know that we gotta. I feel like we got a photo finish. I do. I feel like we got a photo finish coming down the stretch. I do. I feel like we got a photo finish coming down the stretch. The Cavs, they're in a dogfight right now with the Knicks, and the Celtics play the Heat tonight. And with the Celtics playing the Heat, right? And with the Celtics playing the Heat, right? With the Celtics playing the Heat, and the Celtics win and the Cavs lose tonight, just so you know, the Celtics are 3 games out the 1 spot. That's it. They only 3. They would be only 3 games out the 1 spot as of tonight. If the Knicks end up beating the Cavs tonight, which I'm not sure that's going to happen, and if the Celtics win, this is the same Cavs team that had a double-digit lead in the East at one point. Right? They had a double-digit lead at one point. And with them having a double-digit lead, kind of like what's going on in Oklahoma City, where they were up 12 games and they're not getting, ain't nobody catching Oklahoma City. I feel like that was, I feel like that was the same. I feel like that's the same logic, right? I feel like that's the same logic with the Cavs, where nobody really should have caught them, right? I don't feel like this should have been they were up double digits. That West Coast road trip when they dropped 4 of those 5 games, even though they had won 16 out of 17 at one point and they were rolling, right? They were rolling at one point, and they had dropped those 4 straight on that West Coast road trip, and Donovan Mitchell was bad. That was the beginning of this. And then the Celtics continued to roll. I think the Celtics have won 9 of their last 10 games, right? I think the Celtics have won 9 of their last 10 games. And it might be 10 of their last 11 after beating Memphis a couple of nights ago. But this race shouldn't be as close as it is with the Cavs and the Celtics. The Cavs should have won the regular season and locked up the number 1 seed a week ago. Very much like what Oklahoma City has already done. The Cavs should have already wrapped this thing up. This thing should have already been over with. Only except it hasn't been. Right? Only except with the Cavs, they now find themselves in a dogfight. And they got a pretty difficult stretch coming down the stretch. So I'll be interested to see if the Cavs can hold on to that number 1 seed and hang on for dear life. I mean, they're down 8 to the Knicks right now. It's early. We're only in the first quarter. They're down 8, and I think that they could get back in it. I'm not objective to that, but the game just started. So if the Celtics end up wrapping up this, if the Celtics end up catching them and they get that number 1 seed, I wonder what this means for the Cavs. Yeah, I wonder what this would mean for the Cavs. Because if I'm looking at the standings today, right? If I'm looking at the standings today and I'm looking at what's going on today, if the Celtics end up catching Cleveland, we have 8 games left. Right? This is game 75 for Cleveland. So we got 8 games left. And that means that the Cavs in these next 8 games, they got to go 500. If they end up going 500 in 4 of these next 8 games, and the Celtics win out, that becomes a problem. That becomes a huge problem. And if the Celtics end up wrapping up that number 1 seed, they would have to see Atlanta in round 1. I think Atlanta would get a game from them. I just do. Yeah, there's a part of me that just does. But I do want to hear from you guys, though. I do. I want to hear from you guys. I'm interested in this season being what it is and what the standings look like. What up?
Yo, what up, chill? What up? What up? Yeah, man, I'm really rooting for the Celtics to try to just finish out the season strong
Yep.
because what they doing, man, like if they can win 60 games this year, I don't really know, but has there ever been a team that's won the championship and won 60 games in back-to-back seasons? So a
The Bulls,
back-to-back champion that won 60 games.
the Bulls did it in 91. They won 61 games, and the next year they won 67 games. It was a lockout shortened season. If I think about back-to-back champions, I'd have to go back to from 87, 88 to 97, 98, because we had a back-to-back champion every year for that decade. So I'm not sure the Lakers won 60 games that second year, but they won 65 games in 86, 87. Let's see, the Pistons, I think that they were a 50 win team, 55 win team. I don't think they were a 60
Yeah,
win
but
team.
nobody has done it in the 2000s though. Like that would be crazy.
I know the Lakers won 67 games in 2000, and then they didn't win 60
Yeah,
games.
they didn't win. They didn't win 60. Yeah, and so if they were to do that, man,
they did
I
not.
think Tatum, man, you have to put him in some greatest of all time conversations. And like I've just gotten like I'm just starting to get used to his play style now. Like even though I don't like it, I've changed my mindset now to
Mhm.
where it's like the way Tatum plays, it affects winning.
It
And I just
does.
think he's just a great team player. And I think that like his flaws, I actually think his flaws actually make the team better because
Right.
whenever he's not doing something good, he can do other things. He can get off ball. Like last night, I felt like Anthony Edwards, if he would have got off the ball more and he would have let like Conley or Randall initiate and then let him shoot off the ball, I thought that game could have been over quickly. But every time he kept getting the ball, all they was doing was blitzing him and he was making terrible decisions. But he was
Mhm.
actually shooting the ball amazing last night.
Mhm.
So if he would have let somebody else get the ball like how Tatum does and let
Mhm.
them create for him, that would have held them out a lot. So I'm just starting to like to appreciate, like just what Tatum does and like a team game aspect. And like I said
I
earlier,
just think
man,
that
just seeing
he
what I'm
definitely
saying.
affects winning a lot more than he definitely affects winning a lot more than people give him credit for. And I don't think that we see it enough. I really don't. I don't think that we see it enough from him as as a bucket getter, as a scorer. So and to the dude in the chat, classic. The dude in the chat said the Warriors did it. No, they didn't. No, they did not. No, they did not win. They won 67 games the year KD won, and then the next year they didn't win 60 games. No,
Yeah,
they
they
didn't.
didn't win 60
That's
games
not
that
true.
next year.
No, they did not. They did not win 60 games in back-to-back seasons. So that's not true. So you're wrong, Chef. That's not true. They won 60. They won 67 games in 15. Right? They won 67 games. They won 67 games in 15. Yep. They won 67 games in 15. They lost the championship in 16. In 17, they won a championship and won 67 games. And then the next year in 18, they won 58 games that year. They did not win 68. They did not win 60 games. That's not true. That's not what happened at all. So you're wrong. But anyway, I accept, and don't get me wrong, it's frustrating with Jason Tatum watching him. It is. Because I feel like there's a level of domination that he can have. But with that also being said, there's a level of growth that I've seen from him that I really enjoy and I love about him. That's why I'm a Jason Tatum guy, because I've seen him from the beginning to where he is today. And he's so much better of a player, so much better of a scorer, so much better of an all-around player. And I think he's going to be one of those guys who fell victim to the era and the fact that he plays for the Boston Celtics. That I don't think that people are going to really, because I think if he was doing this in Portland or if he was doing this somewhere else, I think people would appreciate him a lot more than they do. A lot more. So, all right, brother. Good to talk to you.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Yup. What up?
What up, Chill?
What's up, brother?
Man, two things I had to talk about, man. So I don't like how the media treating John Morant, man. If you go back on that clip, because I'm tired of talking about the gesture. Even if he did it first, so what? Everybody been doing it all year, man. If you go back to the clip, Buddy Hield started it first.
Isn't he the one who started that?
He started it.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. He was the one. Like Ja didn't just do that. It was Buddy Hield who baited him into that.
And I really don't care about the gesture. I honestly don't care. People been doing it all year. I even looked at an LSU football team that literally tackled a guy and stood over him like he had an AK-47 and shot it over him.
Wait a minute. What about Anthony Edwards knocking down threes and when teams call timeout, he's walking to the bench and putting the Glock back in the holster. He's doing that.
Everybody's been doing it. Chill.
What's going on?
But
Anthony Edwards knocks down a three. And the team calls timeout. He's walking over to the bench. He's looking at the sideline and goes.
I know exactly what clip you're talking about, man.
And puts the Glock back in the holster. When he does that, that's going on.
I'm sick of it. If John Morant gets suspended or get a fine for it, they need to find everybody that did that celebration this season, and they need to get the same treatment. That's just not fair. Another thing I had to talk about. I'm still not moved by Golden State. It took Curry to play fucking nuts. It took Curry to make everything to barely beat us. I wasn't mad at the loss, honestly. They played hard. Ja balled out. Bane and Jaren didn't even play their best game. That's why I'm not moved by Golden State, man. I'm not. I'm just not, man. It took Curry to drop a 50-point triple-double. It took him to drop a 50-point triple-double to almost beat the Memphis Grizzlies by like a 7. I'm not moved by him. And I know the NBA I know the NBA trying to push for this Lakers Warriors first round series. I know that's what's going on. They trying their hardest to push for it.
I don't hate it, to be honest with you, Rock.
I know. I get it.
I don't hate it. I'll be lying to you if I said I hated it because I don't hate it. It's definitely must see TV. It 100% is must see TV. But your boys, I feel like it's a plane where the engine is on fire.
Yeah.
And like what's going on with these guys, man? 7 of their last 9 they dropped, including 4 straight. Jaren Jackson's actually been playing. He hasn't been playing bad. It's somewhere along the line, Ja just seems out of rhythm. He just does. Even though he went for 36 last night, he just seems out of rhythm. His jump shot looks like it's gone. I don't know what happened to it. Desmond Bane looks like he's just here. Yeah. I don't understand why GG Jackson. I know GG Jackson was in and out of the line for injury purposes, but I mean,
it's his defense. It's his defense. His defense is terrible. His defense is, it's terrible. Chill. You go back and look at some possessions. GG is just like standing there watching the guy just drive or watching the guy shoot. It's ridiculous. They sending him to punish him, to let him know like, hey, you got to play hard to be on this be in this league, and that's what they let him know. All right, Chill. Good talking to you, brother.
Good to talk to you, brother. Fair enough. Yeah, you got to get your job done. You do. You have to get your job done in order to be on the floor. Just because you're here does not mean that I have to play you. No, that does not mean that. And because of that, right? Because of that, and if you think that that's going to keep you on the bench for that reason right there, you're going to end up staying on the bench off the strength of you thinking that, yo, I'm going to get run. No, absolutely not. I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies have definitely gone the other way. So I tell you what, though, I tell you what, and I know that this is a conversation that some people don't want to have, because Memphis is in a tricky situation. What I mean when I say that is, Memphis is in a space where, okay, you have to make a decision on Jaren Jackson, and on top of that, what's the plan moving forward with Ja? Are we out on Ja? Do we move on from Ja after this season? Because Jaren Jackson, for all intents and purposes, is going to be an all-league defender, maybe first-team all-league defense. Right? If I'm thinking about the all-league, defensive team, Mobley, Dyson Daniels, Mobley, Dyson Daniels, Jaren Jackson. I think Bam's going to make it too. Yeah, I think Bam's going to be a first-team All-League defender too. Somebody from one of those guys from Oklahoma City is making first-team All-Defense, whether it's J-Dub or Cason Wallace or SGA. One of them dudes is making first-team All-Pro as a defender. I don't know which one of them are, but one of them guys are making first-team. One of those guys are making first-team All-Pro as a defender. 100% that's happening. There's no way that you have arguably the best defense in NBA history and nobody on that defense is first-team All-Defense. Nah. Dort, SGA, Wallace, J-Dub, one of them dudes is – Chet is ineligible. Chet is not going to make the All-League defensive team because he hasn't played enough games. I don't think Caruso has neither. So one of these four dudes is making first-team All-Pro and making first-team All-Defense. One of them four dudes is. So when I think about Triple J, Mobley, Dyson Daniels, one of those guys from Oklahoma City, I'll be really interested to see how this thing goes. I will be. I'll definitely be interested to see how this thing goes. I know that we have, because it would have been a lot more difficult had Anthony Davis played the rest of the season, if Wemby played the majority of the season, if Chet played the majority of the season, even if Embiid played, because Embiid plays at an All-League defensive level. So we definitely got to talk about him as a rim protector and as a rebounder, even though I'm not a huge rebounding fan of Joel Embiid. I mean, the 11 rebounds a game that I get from him, they'll suffice, sure. I think I think Joel Embiid is like a 12, 13 a game. I think that he's that good of a rebounder that I could get more. But I digress. The guys that are All-League defenders, caliber players this season, the kid with the Trailblazers, Kamari, like guys like that. I mean, Herb Jones, he's been hurt for the entire season, so he's out of the lineup. Had he been available, 100%, we would be talking about him more. How about the Knicks? Quick side note, how about the Knicks going into Cleveland and kicking their ass this late in the season with Cleveland's entire lineup? That part right there, I'm kind of bugging out about. But I'll definitely keep my the postseason award that I'm looking forward to more than the league MVP, more than All Pro, is All Defense. That's the postseason award that I'm looking for. That's the one I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to more than any of them. I want to see, because I feel like the All League defensive team. That's why I think that they got to put. I think we need a third team on the All League defensive team, off the strength that we got so many guys in terms of defenders, right? We got so many guys in terms of defenders that it's hard to keep. It's hard to put everybody on. So, as the Oklahoma City Thunder, they got four guys, that are arguably All League defenders, right? The Celtics, I feel like Jason Tatum is playing at an All-League defensive level. I would not be surprised if he made the All-League defensive team this year. I would not be. Because I think he's playing at that level. 100% I think he's playing at that level. Like, no Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs has been out of the lineup. He's an All-League defender. So, I mean, there's a number of different guys that will get snubbed off the strength that there's a number of different guys that are going to get snubbed off the strength that there's just not enough spots. That's the biggest problem. That's why I feel like we need to add a third team to the All-League defensive team, and we need to add 3 more spots to the All-Star team. 100% we do. We need to add, I think it needs to be a 15-man roster. Because if it's a 15-man roster, then I don't think that there's a question of whether or not somebody got snubbed. I mean, 15 guys, And the same thing with being an all-league defender. I think that we'd have a much better idea of who's elite and who's not with three, because we got first, second, and third team all pro, right? We got first, second, and third team all pro. Why don't we have first, second, and third team all defense? I don't get why we don't have that. I don't. Short from Darius Garland. Anyway, I think that's just not true, Chef. And the reason why that's not true is because we didn't do that when they added a third team to the All-Pro team in the late 80s. No, we didn't. No, we did not. We didn't do that. In fact, it was celebrated because guys like James Worthy and Tom Chambers and Mark Price were being left off the All-Pro team. So that's not true. That's not true at all. We actually celebrated them adding a third team, just like I think adding a third team to the all-league defensive team. I think it'll be celebrated because I feel like guys like Tamari from Portland, guys like that. I feel like those guys would be more celebrated because I feel like we'd pay more attention to them. I 100% think we would pay more attention to them, and I am very much a fan of that. Very much a fan of adding the third team all defense to that. So this is a damn good game that while I'm talking to you guys. This is a damn good game that I'm watching between Cleveland and the Knicks. Damn good game. And Mobley looks like a completely different player. Completely different. Ran him right over. Yup. Ran him right over. Cat ran him right over. Nice job, Garland. Nice job. I'm in the minority, to be honest with you. And I think Cleveland, and I'm in the minority, I think they get handled if they end up in the East Finals against the Celtics. I do. I think the Celtics handled them in 5 games, 6 tops. I don't think this is a 6-7 game dogfight. I don't. I don't believe. I ain't buying that at all. Wow, that's a good shot. Nice job by OG. Great shot by OG. Wow, that is a really good shot. Up with it. Get this kid Carter. Get him off the floor. He's killing us, right? He is absolutely killing us. So I got a couple super chats, guys. Let me get to those. Pimp named Slickback. He said, know why the Nets don't have a fan base? We've been in Brooklyn for 16 years, and every 3 years we keep flipping the Cavs. How do you build a fan base like that? You don't, Pimp. You really don't. You don't. And I feel like when you grow with a team, I think you're more prone to get behind them. And that's what comes with management. Management comes in and says, okay, very much like the Yankees. And Pimp, I'm not sure if you're a Yankee fan. I'm not. I'm a Mets fan. But the one thing that I've always admired about the Yankees is the Yankees did not blow smoke. They made it clear. We're starting over. We got this kid Judd. We got this kid Derek Jeter. We're starting over. And this is who we're starting over with. And when you're honest with your fan base, right? When you're honest with your fan base, they'll get behind you as opposed to blowing smoke. They're not listening to that. No, they're not listening to that. Like when the Knicks were losing 50 games 2, 3, 4, 5 straight years. Meanwhile, they telling us, yo, they making the playoffs. We're making the playoffs this year. No, you're not. This is your 5th different coach. This is your 5th different coach. Can we get a coach in here? Can we get a franchise player in here? And can we get somebody to build around? As opposed to, yo, we're making the playoffs and we're throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. That's not a plan. That sounds like hope to me. Hope is not a plan. No, it is not. Hope is not a plan anywhere. No, preparation is a plan. I'm going to prepare. That's my plan. I'm not going to prepare and hope that it works out. No, I'm going to prepare and let's find out what happens. No doubt. Cujo sent sent the super chat. He said they won't appreciate SGA till it's all said and done. And it's sad how people view him and other players like Tatum who have done incredible things. I mean, I think Jason Tatum is the fastest Celtic to 12,000 points. He's going to be first team All-Pro for the fourth straight year this year. I said this to you guys earlier. Bird didn't do that. Not Bird, I'm sorry. Russell didn't do that. They're on pace. They could potentially win the NBA championship in back-to-back seasons. Bird didn't do that. That is a big deal. That is a huge deal. So that's why I said, Cool, that in this space that I'm in, I have to. I'm not saying that I'm going to try to. I have to pay attention and praise what I'm seeing right now from these guys and not poo-poo it. Yeah, but yeah, no. Because I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to see this. I'm not sure I'm going to see something like Joker again. I don't know if I'm going to see that again in my lifetime. I don't know if I'm going to see that again in my lifetime. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to poo-poo that. Like, yeah, but, you know, he's playing in an era where there's not a lot of big guys. He's playing in an era where, you know, the center position is watered down. He's playing in an era of jump shooting big men. So what? So what? Even though Shaq played in an era of all-time great bigs and Shaq dominated. And then there's people who go, well, Shaq didn't play against Chamberlain. So why he play against Chamberlain? He played against Olajuwon, though. So he played against Olajuwon. He played against Ewing. He played against David Robinson. And he dominated. 100% he did that. So same logic goes with Joker. Well, Joker's playing in a watered-down big man era. Well, first of all, Joel Embiid is around during this time. Joel Embiid, even though he might be on his way out, but Joel Embiid has been around for a long time. Giannis is around. Rudy Gobert is around as a defender. Anthony Davis is around. These guys are big time big men. And on top of that, the way that the game has changed, where the big man has now he got tricked. I don't know if you guys have ever heard me say this, but yes, the big man has gotten tricked. He got tricked moving further away from the basket. Even though the game is, especially for the big man, the game is in the paint. But I had to move further away from the basket. I had to move further away from the basket off the strength that this is the way the game is going. And for him to develop that skill set and be elite at it, man, I'm not trying to hear. I'm not saying that I'll entertain it. I'm not trying to hear that, yo, these big guys, they played in a watered down era. Man, please. I'm not trying to hear that. Nope. To have to develop that skill set in this era, plus still doing big man things, still being a rebounder, still being a presence in the paint, still doing that. What up, Yuki? Still doing that. While I'm doing that, I had to advance my game to keep up with the times. No, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not. I will not entertain that. So I'm gonna keep this message out there, and I'm gonna stay tapped in with the NBA this season, 100%. And I'm gonna keep praising these young guys because I won't allow myself to miss any of this action because I'm the consummate old head. I'm not doing that. Yeah, but nah, I'm not. I will not do that. So I'm gonna keep doing this, man. So I don't know if you guys are tapped in, but we got the PCL going on, and with the PCL going on, it's going on this weekend. The Players' Choice League, it's the debate league. Every Sunday, we're down to the Elite Eight. I actually made it, and I'm going up against this kid from Nerd Shed, Logan. I love nerds. This guy is the real deal. So I'm gonna have to be in my bag. I am. I'm gonna have to be in my bag, and I'm gonna have to go at it with this guy because he's the real deal. I'm 100% gonna have to go at it with him, and I'm ready. I'll definitely be ready. But you guys know where to find me. I ain't hard to find. If I'm not here, you can find me on TikTok 9 a.m. on Good Morning NBA every Monday to Friday. On Fan Appreciation Day on Friday, I talk to the people. I don't have any specific topics. If I'm not there, you can find me on the panel from 11 to 2 Monday to Friday on the Players Choice Network right here on YouTube. If you can't find me there, weeknights, this is where you can find me on Chilltown Hoops Network. I'm right here on Thursdays and Saturdays. If you can't find me on the Chilltown Hoops Network, I'm on with my man Big Ox on the Players Choice Network at 4 o'clock on Thursdays and 12 o'clock on Saturdays, 12 o'clock p.m. on Saturdays. So I'm not hard to find. So I will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. I will talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light, but take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys tonight. I really did enjoy this.